Hello, I'm Newman. I'm the Director of Modernism here at the LewAllen Galleries in Santa Fe, New Mexico. I'm so pleased to be presenting this extraordinary show on the original prints of Edvard Munch and Pablo Picasso, Genius on Paper. For those of you who are unable to attend the show, we thought we would bring the exhibit to you through this video. To that end, I've invited Justin Ferate, New York historian, to give an overview and some brief personal comments.
Edvard Munch is considered to be one of the world's greatest printmakers. The works of Edvard Munch span the period between 1884 until his death in the early 1940s. Each one of these prints is a landmark in art history. Because of his use of psychology in his prints, he is in many ways the very first modernist artist. When you look at a Munch image, it's done with a richness and an emotion that one rarely sees in a 20th century image. He connects with the people in the imagery. He knows them, he loves them, he understands them. Sometimes he's powerless to change whatever the circumstance is, but it's the powerlessness of someone who loves. The Sick Child was to Edvard Munch possibly his very favorite work. The young lady portrayed is his sister, Johanna Sophie, who died when Munch was 14 years old. While her body is in darkness, her face is lit up. It's often suggested that Johanna Sophie seems to be moving into another world. For me, this is very touching. What I often do mentally is, as I'm looking at this person who I know I will soon never see again, I try to crystallize an image in my mind. And I sense that that's what Edvard Munch is doing. He is creating that image that will be indelibly placed in his mind. The Girl at the Window is one of Edvard Munch's first great prints. It bears many of the characteristic trademarks of Edvard Munch's wonderful work, but especially his almost ethereal light, the light of the moon shining into the bedroom of this young woman. It's an almost spiritual light which also bathes the young woman looking outside tentatively at whatever it is she's saying. Is it something out there? Is it her future? The viewer alone can answer. Typical of Munch, there is a storyline implied. Munch invites the viewer to add the story so the viewer can become part of the image. He was arguably the very first artist to introduce personal emotion into the printed work. His psychological aspects would define him as the consummate modern artist. And that you can see in this particular piece called Puberty. Very characteristic of Munch, the rich use of blacks and the rich use of whites. It's a wonderfully emotive piece. It could be Munch's sister. It could be any young woman at the cusp of puberty. A very touching, a very emotional, very empathetic image. They're very intimate works. Unlike artists of other eras, Munch brought his emotions to the work. They're very intimate. One is drawn to them. One is captivated by them. Even when the emotions are complex, it is the complexity that gives the images their richness. Munch's works are a symphony in blacks, in whites, in grays. It is the psychology that Munch incorporated into his imagery that would actually define Munch as one of the very first modernist artists in the history of world art.